We grow up believing the universe is solid, reliable, permanent. The sun rises, the stars stay in place, the sky feels ancient, like it has always been here and always will be. But that belief is a lie, not because the universe is fragile, but because it is temporary. And science now agrees on one terrifying fact: the universe is going to end. We just don't know how. For most of human history, the universe felt eternal. Ancient civilizations believed the cosmos was fixed, a perfect machine that never changed. Even early scientists assumed the same. Space was the backdrop. Time moved forward. Reality stayed intact. Then, in the 20th century, something shattered that illusion. Astronomers discovered that distant galaxies were moving away from us, not slowly, not gently, but relentlessly. The universe wasn't standing still. It was expanding. At first, this didn't seem frightening. Expansion sounded peaceful, orderly, manageable. But then came the measurements. The expansion wasn't slowing down. It was speeding up. Something unseen was pushing space itself apart. A force so powerful, it overpowered gravity across the entire cosmos. Scientists gave it a calm name, dark energy. But there is nothing calm about it. Dark energy makes up roughly 68% of the entire universe. It controls the future of everything. And we don't know what it is. Not really. We can't see it. We can't contain it. We can't turn it off. All we know is this: it is winning. Even NASA openly admits that dark energy is one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in physics, and the universe's ending depends entirely on its behavior. This is where the fear begins, because when scientists project the future of the universe, every path ends in destruction, not explosions, not fire, but something colder, quieter, more absolute. There is no scenario where everything survives forever. Stars will die. Galaxies will drift apart. Time itself may lose meaning. And the most terrifying possibility, one ending gives no warning at all. No countdown, no signal, no final moment, just gone. When scientists first realized the universe was expanding, it felt almost hopeful. Expansion meant movement, growth, a universe with a future. For decades, the assumption was simple: gravity would eventually slow the expansion down. Everything pulls on everything else. Stars pull on stars. Galaxies pull on galaxies. So eventually the universe would ease into stillness. That's what made sense. That's what felt safe. In the late 1990s, astronomers decided to measure the expansion more precisely. They studied distant exploding stars, type Ia supernovae, because these explosions shine with predictable brightness. By comparing how bright they should be with how bright they appeared, scientists could measure cosmic distance. What they found didn't just challenge theory, it shattered it. The distant supernovae were too dim, which meant they were farther away than expected, which meant the universe wasn't just expanding, it was expanding faster than it should be. This was the moment physics lost control of the story, because if expansion was speeding up, something had to be pushing it. But there was no known force strong enough. Gravity pulls inward. Electromagnetism doesn't act on empty space. Nuclear forces operate at tiny scales. And yet, space itself was being stretched. Not matter inside space, space itself. Scientists named the unknown force dark energy, not because it's evil or mysterious by choice, but because it is completely invisible. Dark energy does not glow, it does not clump, it does not slow down. It behaves the same everywhere, and it grows stronger as the universe grows larger. Which means the more space exists, the faster space expands. This discovery didn't just rewrite cosmology, it introduced fear into it. Because dark energy doesn't just determine where galaxies go, it determines how reality ends. And here's the part that unsettled scientists the most. If dark energy changes, even slightly, the universe's fate changes dramatically, and we have no guarantee it stays constant. Modern telescopes, satellites, and missions, including those run by NASA, have spent decades trying to understand dark energy. So far, the result is the same. We can measure its effects, but we don't know what it is, where it came from, whether it will weaken or grow stronger. And depending on that answer, the universe will meet very different endings. Some slow, some violent, one instant, and one of them is so absolute that if it begins, no one will ever know it happened. At this point in the story, the universe is no longer stable. It's no longer predictable. It's a system being pushed by something we don't understand toward an ending we cannot escape. Once scientists accepted that the universe was accelerating, a new question emerged. Not if the universe would end, but how. Because when you run the equations forward, millions, billions, trillions of years into the future, every solution leads to extinction, not just of life, but of structure. Physicists narrowed the possibilities down to 3 endings. They are all real. They are all allowed by physics, and none of them are survivable. This is the quietest ending, and possibly the most disturbing. In the heat-death scenario, the universe doesn't explode or collapse. It simply runs out of usable energy. Stars burn through their fuel and go dark. Galaxies stop forming new stars. Black holes slowly evaporate. Eventually, everything reaches the same temperature. No heat flow, no motion, no work. Time still exists, but nothing happens. This isn't cold like ice, it's worse. It's absolute equilibrium, a universe where atoms still exist but can no longer interact in meaningful ways. No chemistry, no light, no change. Just endless, featureless darkness. A universe that technically exists, but is dead in every way that matters. The second ending is far more violent. In this scenario, dark energy doesn't stay constant. It grows stronger, stronger than gravity, stronger than electromagnetism, stronger than the forces holding atoms together. At first, galaxies drift apart. Then stars are pulled from their orbits. Then planets are torn away from suns. In the final moments, planets disintegrate. Molecules are ripped apart. Atoms themselves are shredded. Space expands so violently that nothing can remain bound. Not even time survives intact. Reality is pulled into silence not by collapse, but by being stretched beyond meaning. This is the one that terrifies physicists most, because it doesn't wait and it doesn't warn. According to quantum physics, our universe may exist in a false vacuum, a temporary energy state that feels stable, but isn't. If a lower energy state exists, a truer vacuum, the universe could transition into it. Suddenly, if vacuum decay begins anywhere in the universe, a bubble forms. It expands at the speed of light. It rewrites the laws of physics inside it. Atoms cannot exist inside this bubble. Stars cannot form. Time may not behave the same way, and you would never see it coming, because the bubble moves at light speed. There is no before, no during, no after. One moment, existent. Next moment, nothing. This ending might already be inevitable. It might happen tomorrow or in 1 trillion years. And the most unsettling truth, if it happens, there will be no evidence it ever did. Reality would simply be replaced. At this point, The universe is no longer just temporary. It is unstable, balanced on laws that might change, dependent on forces we don't understand, headed toward an ending we cannot observe from the outside. Among all the possible ends of the universe, one stands apart, not because it's the most dramatic, but because it is the most unavoidable. Heat death takes time. The Big Rip gives warning. But vacuum decay, it doesn't wait for stars to burn out. It doesn't wait for civilizations to rise or fall. It can happen at any moment. To understand why this terrifies physicists, you need to understand a simple but disturbing idea. The universe may be resting on a lie. In quantum physics, empty space isn't truly empty. It has energy called vacuum energy. And that energy can exist in different states, some stable, some temporary. The terrifying possibility is that our universe exists in a false vacuum, a state that looks stable, feels stable, but isn't the lowest possible energy state. Imagine balancing a ball in a shallow dip on a hill. It sits still. It feels stable, but a deeper valley exists nearby. If the ball ever tunnels into that deeper valley, even by random quantum fluctuation, everything changes. That's vacuum decay, a spontaneous transition to a more stable reality. And when it happens, physics itself rewrites the rules. If vacuum decay begins, it creates a bubble. Inside the bubble, fundamental constants change. Forces behave differently. Matter, as we know it, cannot exist. The bubble expands outward at the speed of light, not near the speed, not almost, exactly the speed of causality itself, which means there is no escape. No signal can outrun it. If that bubble reached Earth, you wouldn't feel pain. You wouldn't see light. You wouldn't even experience fear because your atoms wouldn't have time to react. Time, as you experience it, would simply stop having meaning. One moment, you are listening to this sentence. The next moment, there is no next. What makes this even more disturbing is that nothing forbids this from happening. Current physics allows it. Our most successful theories don't rule it out. Even observations made by NASA and other institutions can't tell us whether we are in a true vacuum or a false one. The universe could be stable or it could be metastable, lasting billions of years, but doomed eventually. And we have no experiment that can definitively tell the difference. This realization changed how physicists see reality, because it means existence itself might not end with a bang or a fade, but with a silent overwrite. No memory, no evidence, no cosmic ruins, just a universe that was here and then wasn't. At this point in the story, fear is no longer about destruction. It's about fragility. The realization that reality itself might be temporary, balanced on laws that could change without warning. Once you understand how the universe may end, something strange happens. The fear fades, not because the danger is gone, but because the scale becomes too large to panic about. When existence itself is temporary, panic loses meaning. What replaces it is something quieter, perspective. Every atom in your body was forged in stars that no longer exist. Every element heavier than hydrogen was born in explosions powerful enough to rip suns apart. You're not separate from the universe. You are what the universe does when it becomes aware of itself. For a brief moment against impossible odds, matter learned how to look back. The universe doesn't care if we understand it. It doesn't reward us for curiosity. It doesn't punish us for ignorance. And yet, here we are, living on a small planet, orbiting an ordinary star in a galaxy that will one day drift beyond reach. And still, we ask questions. That might be the rarest thing of all. If the universe ends in silence, it will not erase meaning. Meaning was never stored in eternity. It was stored in moments, in consciousness, in connection, in awareness existing at all. The universe may forget us, but for now, we remember it. There may be countless universes, or only this one. There may be other observers, or none. But right now, in this fragile pocket of space-time, something extraordinary is happening. The universe is being noticed, and maybe that's enough. Not to defeat the ending, not to escape it, but to give existence meaning while it lasts. Because in a universe that may disappear without warning, every second you are aware is a victory against nothingness. There is a reason space terrifies us more than the ocean. The ocean still belongs to Earth. Space does not belong to anything. When you stare into the night sky, your brain tries to do something impossible. It tries to contain infinity. But the human mind was never built for that. Your ancestors evolved to survive savannas, storm predators, not endless distance, not eternal darkness, not a universe with no center and no edge. And yet, we look anyway. Most people don't realize this, but your brain actively protects you from cosmic horror. It simplifies the sky into stars. It turns galaxies into dots. It compresses billions of light years into something that feels manageable. Because if you truly felt the scale, if you truly understood how far away everything is, your sense of self would dissolve. There are more galaxies in the observable universe than grains of sand on every beach on Earth. Each galaxy contains hundreds of billions of stars. Many of those stars have planets. And between all of that, there is mostly nothing. Not emptiness, but absence. That absence is what frightens physicists. Not monsters, not aliens, but the realization that nothingness dominates reality. Time feels real because we are here to experience it. But imagine a universe where nothing observes anything. No eyes, no memory, no awareness. Does time still pass? Physics says yes. Meaning says maybe not. In the far future, when stars no longer shine, the universe won't end in a dramatic way. It will simply continue, without anyone to notice. No history being written, no thoughts forming, no moments being remembered. Just particles drifting in silence. This is one of the deepest unsolved questions in cosmology. Does the universe need observers to give time meaning? Or is time just a mechanical process ticking forward even when no one is left to care? We don't know. And that uncertainty haunts modern physics. Because if consciousness disappears forever, the universe becomes a story with no ending, just an infinite blank page. Black holes introduce a horror deeper than destruction. They introduce forgetting. When something falls into a black hole, information appears to vanish. Its position, its structure, its history, gone. This breaks one of the most sacred rules of physics. Information is not supposed to be destroyable, and yet black holes seem to do exactly that. Physicists have spent decades arguing over this. Some believe information is stored on the event horizon. Some believe it leaks out slowly. Some believe reality itself is incomplete. But no one knows for sure. If information can truly be destroyed, then memory is not guaranteed. Then the universe does not preserve its past. Then existence itself is temporary, not just in matter, but in meaning. And that raises a terrifying possibility. The universe may forget that it ever existed. We search for signals, radio waves, patterns, repeating frequencies, and space answers with silence. The terrifying idea isn't that we're alone, it's that everyone else learned something we haven't yet. That expansion is dangerous, that broadcasting is risky, that surviving means staying quiet, or worse. That intelligence inevitably destroys itself once it understands enough. That curiosity has an expiration date. That awareness carries a cost. If that's true, then we're not special. We're just early. Time feels steady because you are inside it. Seconds pass. Minutes follow. The future arrives in neat order. But this is an illusion created by your position in the universe. In space, time does not behave. Near massive objects, time slows down. Far from gravity, it speeds up. At the edge of black holes, it nearly stops. Time is not universal. It is local. If you were watching Earth from far enough away, you would not see now. You would see the past. Dinosaurs walking, oceans forming, the planet still unfinished. The present only exists where you are. Everywhere else, the universe is trapped in a different moment. This leads to a terrifying realization. There is no single now for the universe, no shared moment, no universal present. Reality is fragmented across time. If time itself is unstable, what does it even mean for the universe to end? Does it end everywhere at once? Or does it end differently depending on where you are when it happens? Physics does not yet know the answer. When we imagine space, we imagine stars. But stars are rare. Galaxies are islands, separated by oceans of emptiness so vast they defy intuition. Between galaxies are cosmic voids, regions so empty that even particles are scarce. Not dark, not dramatic, just absent. If you were floating in one of these voids, no stars would be visible, no galaxies nearby, no reference points. You would not know which way you were moving, or if you were moving at all. This is where the universe truly reveals itself, not as a place full of things, but as a place defined by nothing. And the terrifying truth is, as the universe expands, these voids grow. Galaxies drift away from each other until entire regions become permanently unreachable. One day, distant galaxies will fade beyond the cosmic horizon, not because they disappeared, but because space itself stretched too far. In the far future, observers will look up and see only their own galaxy. They will believe the universe is small, quiet, empty, and they will be wrong. One of the most unsettling discoveries in modern physics is this. The universe behaves differently when observed. At the smallest scales, particles exist as probabilities, not objects. Only when measured do they choose a state. This is not philosophy, it is experiment. Which raises a question scientists rarely ask out loud. What happens to reality when there are no observers left? In a dead universe, no eyes, no instruments, no measurements. Does reality still collapse into definite states? Or does it dissolve into probabilities with no one to resolve them? Some physicists believe observation is fundamental, that the universe requires awareness to become concrete. Others believe reality continues mechanically, but no one has proven either. If consciousness disappears before the universe ends, then the final state of reality may never be experienced. The universe might reach its conclusion without ever knowing it happened. Memory feels permanent, but physics does not guarantee memory. Black holes erase structure. Expansion erases connection. Entropy erases order. In the far future, even information may degrade beyond recovery, not destroyed violently, just diluted, scattered across infinite space until it can never be reconstructed. This leads to a final terrifying possibility. The universe may not just end. It may forget that it ever existed. No record, no imprint, no echo, just a short silence. There is a point at which size stops being impressive and starts becoming disturbing. The human mind can understand big. It can understand mountains, oceans, planets, even stars. But there is a threshold, a scale beyond which understanding collapses into something else entirely. That something is dread, not fear of death, fear of irrelevance. When you look at the night sky, your brain performs a quiet mercy. It compresses distance. It flattens depth. It turns unimaginable space into something decorative. Stars become dots. Galaxies become ideas. Infinity becomes a word instead of a reality. Because if your mind truly grasped the scale, you would feel yourself dissolve. The observable universe is about 93 billion light years across. That number is meaningless on purpose. A light year is already too large to imagine. Billions of them are beyond comprehension. Even if you traveled at the speed of light, the fastest speed reality allows you could never cross it. And that's just what we can see. There may be regions of reality so far away that their existence will never matter to anything else. They will never influence us. We will never influence them. Entire galaxies may live and die without ever being part of a story. This is where scale becomes terrifying, because meaning depends on connection, and the universe is built to prevent connection at large scales. Expansion ensures isolation. The farther you look, the less reachable everything becomes. There are galaxies we can see today that are already gone. Their light is arriving now, but the galaxies themselves no longer exist in any meaningful sense. We are watching ghosts. History written in photons that traveled for billions of years just to arrive too late. Imagine this applied to everything, every civilization, every planet, every conscious thought. Most of them, if they exist at all, will never overlap, not in space, not in time. This means the universe does not behave like a shared stage. It behaves like an archive of disconnected moments. Things happen, but they do not meet. Your existence occupies a region of space-time so small that calling it a moment is generous. And yet, from inside that moment, you feel central, important, aware. That contradiction is the root of cosmic fear. You feel like the center of experience inside a universe that has no center at all. And the most unsettling part? The universe does not correct this feeling. It allows you to believe you matter, while providing no evidence that anything beyond your moment agrees. On Earth, distance is temporary. You can cross oceans. You can send signals. You can wait. In space, distance is permanent, and that makes it lethal. There is a boundary around us called the cosmic horizon. It marks the limit beyond which events can never affect us. Not because of technology, not because of time, but because space itself is expanding too fast. Beyond that horizon, things still exist. Stars burn, planets orbit, possibly life thinks, but they are already dead to us, not destroyed, disconnected forever. This is one of the most cruel properties of the universe. It allows things to exist while ensuring they will never matter to anything else. Imagine a civilization forming on a distant planet. They look up at their sky. They ask the same questions. They search for meaning. They may even discover physics. But expansion ensures that their entire existence is sealed off. No message will ever reach us. No trace will ever arrive. No memory will ever overlap. Their rise and fall will not echo, not even faintly. Distance in space does not just separate, it erases relevance. As time moves forward, expansion accelerates, galaxies drift away faster. Eventually, even nearby galaxies disappear beyond the horizon. In the far future, observers will see only their local galaxy. Everything else will be gone, not destroyed, but unreachable. This creates a terrifying illusion. Future civilizations will believe the universe is small. They will believe they are alone. They will believe the cosmos contains only what they can see. And they will be wrong. The universe does not preserve its history. It hides it behind distance. This is why distance is a kind of death. Not the end of existence, the end of interaction. And without interaction, existence becomes indistinguishable from nothing. If the universe ends in silence, it won't be because things stopped happening. It will be because nothing could ever reach anything else again. One of the quietest tragedies of the universe is not extinction. It is separation. We often imagine intelligent life as something dramatic. Signals flashing across space, civilizations discovering one another, contact being made. But the universe is not designed for meetings. It is designed for misses. Even if intelligent life is common, even if the universe is filled with thinking minds, cosmic distances ensure that most of them will never intersect. Not in space, not in time, not in causality. Consider this. Two civilizations could arise in neighboring galaxies. Both could master science. Both could build telescopes. Both could look outward with curiosity and hope, and still, they would never know the other existed. Light takes millions of years to cross intergalactic space. Signals decay, stars move, expansion stretches the gap wider with every passing moment. By the time one civilization sends a message, the other may already be gone. This means the universe can be crowded and lonely at the same time, full of intelligence, yet silent. We often talk about the universe as if it were a shared arena, a place where discoveries accumulate. But in reality, the universe is fragmented into isolated bubbles of experience. Each civilization lives inside its own cosmic island. Their stories never merge. Imagine an advanced civilization that survives for 1,000,000 years, an incredible achievement. And yet, on a cosmic timescale, that is barely a flicker. Their entire history could pass between two blinks of the universe. Now, imagine another civilization doing the same thing 1,000,000,000 years earlier, or 1,000,000,000 years later. They would never overlap. They would never share a universe in any meaningful way. This reframes the fear of being alone. The terrifying possibility is not that life is rare, it's that life is common but permanently isolated. The universe may be filled with thought, wonder, and fear, all happening separately, unaware of one another. And this leads to a deeply unsettling idea. The universe does not reward intelligence with connection. It does not ensure that awareness spreads. It allows minds to appear, then strands them in silence. Every civilization that looks outward is essentially shouting into an expanding void, not because no one is listening, but because space will never let the message arrive. This is why the silence of the universe is so disturbing, not because nothing is there, but because everything is too far apart to matter to anything else. Warmth feels natural to us. Life depends on it. Chemistry, depends on it. Motion depends on it. But warmth is not the rule of the universe. It is the exception. The natural state of reality is cold, almost unimaginably cold. Most of space sits just a few degrees above absolute zero, a temperature so low that atoms barely move. Energy is scarce. Motion is minimal. Change happens slowly, if at all. Stars are not normal. They are temporary violations of the universe's preference for cold. Brief furnaces burning against an otherwise frozen backdrop. Every star you see is dying, not metaphorically, literally losing energy with every second, radiating heat outward into a universe that will never give it back. This is entropy in action. Energy spreads out, systems cool, structure dissolves. The universe does not recycle heat efficiently. Once warmth escapes into space, it is effectively gone forever. This means the universe is constantly drifting towards stillness. Not silence, but thermal exhaustion. In the far future, stars will stop forming, galaxies will dim, the universe will settle into a cold, dilute state where nothing complex can happen. No reactions, no life, no light. This ending is not violent. It is indifferent. Cold does not destroy things dramatically. It prevents them from happening at all. Imagine a universe where atoms still exist but lack the energy to interact, where time passes but nothing ever changes, where the laws of physics still apply but have nothing left to act on. This is why heat death is so disturbing. It is not an apocalypse. It is a cosmic boredom that never ends. And the most unsettling part? This is not speculative. This is the direction the universe is already moving, every second, right now. The warmth that makes life possible is leaking away into space. Once it's gone, nothing brings it back. Life is not fighting destruction, it is fighting cooling, which means existence itself is balanced on a narrow thermal window. Too hot and structure breaks down. Too cold and structure never forms. The universe allows this window only briefly, and we are living inside it now. Before anything ever spoke, before anything ever moved, before atoms learned how to vibrate, there was silence. Not silence, as we understand it, not the absence of noise after something stops, but silence as the default condition of reality. Sound requires matter. It requires particles to collide, to compress, to transfer energy. Space offers none of that. Most of the universe cannot carry sound at all. It is not quiet. It is incapable of noise. Every sound that has ever existed, every voice, explosion, heartbeat, and scream, was a temporary disturbance in an otherwise silent cosmos. Sound is not fundamental. Silence is. When stars explode, they do not roar. When galaxies collide, they do not crash. When black holes merge, they do not scream. All of that violence happens in perfect quiet, not because it is gentle, but because space refuses to transmit it. This is unsettling to the human mind. We associate danger with sound. We expect impact to announce itself. But the universe destroys things without ever making a noise. Imagine standing in space near a supernova. Visually, it would be blinding. Energetically, it would be lethal. But audibly, nothing. No warning, no crescendo, just silence. This teaches us something uncomfortable. The universe does not communicate danger. It does not signal endings. It does not narrate its own events. Silence also shapes how civilizations disappear. When a star system dies, no sound marks the end. When a planet freezes, no echo remains. When an entire galaxy fades beyond reach, there is no final signal. The universe erases things quietly. Even the beginning of the universe, the Big Bang, was not an explosion in space. It was the expansion of space itself. There was no sound because there was nothing yet capable of hearing. And when the universe ends, whatever form that ending takes, it will end the same way it lived, in silence. That silence is not hostile. It is indifferent. It existed before us. It will remain after us, which makes awareness feel fragile. A brief moment where the universe becomes loud inside a mind and then returns to quiet again. The human brain is extraordinary. It can imagine futures. It can remember the past. It can invent meaning where none is obvious. But it has limits, and the universe lives beyond those limits. Your brain evolved to survive on Earth, to track movement, to predict danger, to navigate landscapes measured in meters, not light years. It was never designed to comprehend infinity. This is why thinking deeply about the universe feels different than normal fear. You don't panic. You dissociate. You feel small, detached, numb. This reaction has a name: cosmic insignificance response. When the brain realizes it cannot place itself meaningfully within the scale it's perceiving, to protect itself, the brain simplifies. It turns billions into a lot. It turns infinity into forever. It turns incomprehensible distance into metaphor, because the raw truth would overload it. If you truly felt the age of the universe, 13.8 billion years, not as a number, but as lived duration, your sense of self would collapse. The brain depends on relevance. It needs boundaries, beginnings, and endings. The universe offers none of those in a human-friendly way. There is no center, no edge, no final frame, just expansion. This creates a quiet psychological tension. You experience yourself as important, but you understand intellectually that the universe does not confirm this. That conflict does not resolve. It simply sits there, uncomfortable. Some people respond by turning away from the sky. Some respond with spirituality. Some respond with science. All are attempts to make the universe fit inside a human mind. But the truth is harsher. The universe does not scale down for us. We scale ourselves down to survive thinking about it. And yet, despite this limitation, despite the mismatch, we still ask questions. We still look up. We still try. That may be the most human act of all, to stare at something that overwhelms us and refuse to stop looking. Human beings instinctively search for centers. A center gives orientation. A center tells you where you are. A center suggests importance. On Earth, everything has one. Cities have centers. Maps have centers. Stories have centers. The universe does not. There is no location you can point to and say, this is where everything began. The Big Bang did not happen somewhere. It happened everywhere at once. Every point in space was once compressed together, which means every point can claim to be the center, and none of them truly are. This breaks something deep inside the human mind, because without a center, there is no privileged position, no special viewpoint, no place where meaning naturally gathers. When astronomers look outward, they see galaxies moving away in every direction, not because we are central, but because expansion happens everywhere equally. If you lived in another galaxy, you would see the same thing. They would think they were the center, and they would be just as wrong. The universe offers no reference frame that says, you're here. It does not orient itself around observers. Observers must orient themselves inside it. The same is true for edges. We like boundaries. Edges tell us where things end. They give comfort. They imply containment. But the universe has no confirmed edge, no wall, no final border. Space does not end. It simply continues or curves or extends beyond observation. Even the observable universe is not an edge, it is a limit of perception, a horizon created by time and light, not a boundary of existence. This means reality is not a box. It is not a room. It is not even a landscape. It is a process without a frame, without a center or an edge, meaning does not come from position. It must come from experience, from awareness, existing at all. The universe does not tell you where you belong. It never has. It leaves that unanswered. And that unanswered question is deeply unsettling because it means nothing in the universe points to us and says, you matter more than this. If meaning exists, it is not embedded in the structure of space. It is something consciousness must generate locally, briefly, against a backdrop that offers no guidance. On Earth, falling has an ending. You hit the ground, the motion stops, the event resolves. In space, falling is different. In space, falling can last forever. Orbit itself is a kind of fall. Planets fall around stars. Stars fall around galaxies. Galaxies fall through space-time itself. There is no final landing. This creates a subtle cosmic unease, a sense that motion never concludes, that there is no resting place. Imagine drifting in deep space, no stars nearby, no reference points. You push gently in one direction, you begin to move, and you never stop. No friction, no resistance, no ground, just motion continuing endlessly. This is not violent. It is worse. It is unresolved. The universe does not offer rest by default. Rest must be created by balance, by forces canceling each other out. Without that balance, motion persists indefinitely. This applies to existence itself. The universe began in motion, expansion, acceleration, change, and nothing guarantees that it ever settles. Even in heat death, motion does not fully end. Particles still drift. Quantum fluctuations still occur. Time still advances. There is no final stillness, only diminishing activity. This is why falling forever is such a powerful metaphor for cosmic fear, not because it hurts, but because it never finishes. Human psychology depends on endings, on closure, on knowing when something is over. The universe does not promise this. If the universe ends, it may not end in a moment. It may simply continue degrading, drifting, cooling, stretching, without ever arriving anywhere, a fall without impact, a story without resolution. And we are falling too, through time, through expansion, through a universe that does not slow down for observation. The terrifying thought is not that we will hit something, it is that there may be nothing to hit at all. The universe feels solid, reliable, as if reality is governed by laws that have always existed and always will. But this stability may be an illusion. Everything that exists depends on a small set of numbers, not ideas, not forces. Numbers, the strength of gravity, the charge of the electron, the rate of cosmic expansion, the masses of fundamental particles. If any of these values were even slightly different, the universe would not look different. It would not exist at all. Stars would never form. Atoms would never bond. Time would unfold too fast or not at all. Reality balances on a narrow mathematical knife edge. This is known as fine-tuning, and it is one of the most disturbing facts in cosmology. Change gravity by a tiny fraction, and galaxies never condense. Change electromagnetism slightly, and chemistry collapses. Change the vacuum energy by a small amount, and space either rips apart instantly or collapses back into nothing. There is no buffer, no margin for error, no gradual failure. The universe is not robust. It is precise. This raises a question science still cannot answer. Why these numbers? There is no known reason they must be what they are. They could have been different, and if they were, there would be no observers to notice. This makes existence feel accidental, not in the sense of chaos, but in the sense of improbability. Reality does not feel like a natural outcome. It feels like a narrow success in an ocean of possible failures. And here is the terrifying implication. If the universe's laws can be set, they may also be able to change. Some theories suggest constants evolve. Others suggest vacuum states can shift. If that is true, then the laws that allow you to exist are not eternal. They are conditional. Existence may persist only as long as the numbers stay aligned. And if they drift, reality does not break slowly. It breaks instantly. No warning, no adaptation, no survival. This makes the universe feel less like a foundation and more like a delicate equation still being solved. When we imagine the end of the universe, we imagine silence, darkness, stillness. But one thing may survive every ending: time. Even in the coldest possible universe, even after stars fade and matter decays, time continues. Physics does not require events for time to pass. It does not require observers. It does not require meaning. Time advances even when nothing happens. This creates a deeply unsettling picture, a universe that still exists, but no longer changes in any meaningful way. After heat death, particles still drift. Quantum fields still fluctuate. Moments still follow moments. But nothing new ever emerges. Imagine an eternity with no events, no beginnings, no endings, just duration. This is not nothingness. It is worse. It is endless waiting with nothing left to wait for. Human experience depends on contrast, before and after, cause and effect, memory and anticipation. Time without events erases all of this. If no minds remain, time becomes a process with no witness. Does time still exist if nothing experiences it? Physics says yes. Meaning says maybe not. This is one of the deepest unanswered questions. Is time fundamental, or does it require awareness to matter? If time truly outlasts everything, then the universe does not conclude. It simply empties out. No final moment, no closure, just infinite duration stretching beyond relevance. And that may be the most haunting fate imaginable, not annihilation, but persistence without purpose, a universe that never ends because nothing is left to end. Human beings grow up surrounded by meaning, names, stories, purposes assigned before we ever ask for them. We assume meaning is part of reality itself. But the universe has never promised this. Stars do not burn for anything. Galaxies do not form for a reason. Expansion does not care where it leads. Meaning is not written into physics. This is one of the most unsettling discoveries of modern cosmology. The universe does not oppose meaning. It simply does not supply it. If meaning exists, it exists only where minds exist. And minds are temporary. There will come a time when the last thinking system fades, whether biological or artificial, whether sudden or slow. And when that happens, meaning disappears with it, not destroyed, not erased violently, simply no longer instantiated anywhere. This reframes the fear of cosmic endings. The terrifying question is not, will the universe end? It is, will meaning end before the universe does? Because if consciousness vanishes while time continues, then existence persists without significance. A universe full of events that do not matter to anything. Physics allows this. It does not violate any law. A universe can exist without meaning, without memory, without narrative. This forces an uncomfortable realization. Meaning is fragile. It is not protected by scale or time. It does not automatically endure, and yet meaning appears anyway, briefly, locally, against the odds. Every act of curiosity, every question asked, every attempt to understand the universe is meaning asserting itself in a place where it is not guaranteed. The universe does not stop us from caring. It simply does not care whether we do, which makes caring a radical act. In a cosmos that may forget itself, meaning is not inherited. It is created moment by moment, and once those moments end, nothing ensures they are preserved. Meaning does not echo forever, but while it exists, it is real. The universe is full of matter, full of energy, full of motion, but awareness may be the rarest event of all. Most of reality unfolds without noticing itself. Particles collide, fields fluctuate, stars ignite and die. None of it is aware. Awareness requires an extraordinary alignment, complex chemistry, stable environments, time without interruption, billions of years of chance layered upon chance. And even when awareness emerges, it is brief, fragile, easily extinguished. This makes consciousness cosmically unusual, not powerful, not central, just improbable. The universe does not need awareness to function. It does not depend on observers. Reality proceeds whether or not it is noticed, which means awareness is not inevitable. It is accidental. And yet, here you are, a collection of particles that learned how to experience, to reflect, to fear, to wonder. For a brief moment in cosmic history, the universe has opened its eyes. Not everywhere, not forever, just here, just now. This reframes the terror of cosmic endings. If awareness is rare, then its existence matters precisely because it is temporary. The universe may go on without witnesses, but while witnesses exist, something unprecedented is happening. The universe is being understood from the inside. That may never happen again. Stars will still burn, space will still expand, time will still pass. But the act of knowing may vanish completely, and if that happens, the universe will not mourn it. It will not remember, which means awareness does not owe the universe anything. But the universe owes awareness nothing either. And yet, against silence, against scale, against inevitability, awareness exists. And that may be the most extraordinary and most fragile fact in all of space. Memory feels permanent to us. We record, we archive, we preserve, but the universe does not. Nothing in physics guarantees that the past is protected. There is no cosmic hard drive, no universal archive, no law that says what happened must always remain recoverable. Entropy erodes structure, expansion erodes connection, time erodes trace. The farther the universe expands, the harder it becomes to reconstruct its own history. Light stretches, signals weaken, information disperses. In the far future, the cosmic background radiation will cool further. Galaxies outside the local group will vanish beyond the horizon. Evidence of the Big Bang itself may become undetectable. Future observers could look out and conclude incorrectly that the universe had always been empty. This is deeply unsettling because it means the universe can lose awareness of its own origin, not metaphorically, physically. History is not guaranteed. It survives only while conditions allow it to be read. Once those conditions disappear, the past still happened, but nothing can ever know it did. This applies to everything. Civilizations, stars, entire eras of cosmic structure. The universe does not preserve stories. It allows them briefly, then lets them fade. This reframes existence. You're not just temporary in the future, you're temporary in the past as well. One day, there may be no physical evidence that anything like us ever existed, not because we were unimportant, but because the universe does not retain detail forever. To exist at all and to be known at all is already a narrow window. One of the most disturbing truths in cosmology is simple. The universe does not need to exist. There is no law that demands something instead of nothing. Physics describes how reality behaves, not why it exists at all. When scientists trace the universe backward, they do not find necessity. They find contingency. The universe appears allowed, not required. This means existence is optional. Reality could have failed to appear, and nothing would have noticed. This undermines a deep human assumption that existence is the default. In fact, nothingness may be the default, and existence the exception. Quantum physics even allows universes to appear spontaneously, no cause, no purpose, no reason. If that is true, then the universe is not a solution to a problem. It is not answering a question. It is simply happening. This makes meaning feel precarious. If existence itself has no obligation, then meaning has even less. And yet, here we are, inside something that did not have to be, asking questions that did not need to be asked. The universe does not justify itself. It does not explain itself. It does not defend its own presence. It simply exists, for now. And that may be the most unsettling possibility of all. Not that the universe will end, but that it never needed to begin. Imagine the last moment of awareness in the universe, not dramatic, not announced, just the final experience. After that moment, the universe continues. Stars still burn, particles still move, time still passes, but something fundamental is gone. No experiences occur, no questions arise, no wonder is felt. And the universe does not react. It does not register the loss. It does not slow down. It does not change course. This is deeply unsettling because it means awareness does not alter the universe's trajectory. It does not redirect fate. It does not leave a permanent mark. Consciousness is not a steering wheel. It is a passenger. Everything we value, beauty, meaning, fear, love, understanding, exists only while awareness exists. Once it ends, the universe becomes indistinguishable from one that never had it. This means awareness does not complete the universe. It does not fulfill a cosmic purpose. It does not finish a story. It is a temporary phenomenon, like stars, like warmth, like structure. And yet, while it exists, the universe is not the same because for a brief window of time, reality is being experienced. The universe is not just unfolding, it is being noticed. And when that stops, nothing breaks, nothing collapses, nothing mourns, only silence remains. When you step back and look at everything we've explored, a pattern begins to emerge. Not a conspiracy, not a prophecy, a lesson. We've learned that the universe is vast, beyond comprehension. That distance is not just space, it is separation. That time does not flow the same everywhere and may continue long after meaning is gone. That the laws of reality are precise, fragile, and not guaranteed to remain as they are. But the most important lesson is not about how the universe ends. It's about how it works right now. Education begins with scale. One of the most important things modern science has taught us is humility. Not moral humility, cosmic humility. We are not central. We are not permanent. We are not protected by size, time, or importance. This is not pessimism. It is accuracy. Understanding scale teaches us that no planet is invincible, no civilization is guaranteed, no moment is promised to repeat. This knowledge matters because it changes how we behave inside the moment we do have. The universe is not hostile, it is neutral. A common misconception is that space is cruel. It isn't. Cruelty requires intent. The universe has none. Stars explode not to destroy, but because physics allows it. Galaxies drift apart not to isolate, but because expansion continues. Cold, silence, and darkness are not punishments. They are defaults. This distinction matters educationally because it reminds us that meaning does not come from the universe. Meaning comes from interpretation. Why awareness is so important. One of the most educational truths in all of cosmology is this: the universe does not need to be observed to exist, but understanding only exists where observation does. Awareness turns motion into experience. It turns events into history. It turns existence into knowledge. Without observers, time still passes. Space still expands. Stars still form and die, but nothing is known. That makes awareness scientifically rare, not philosophically special. And rarity is something science teaches us to value. Entropy teaches responsibility. Entropy tells us that order decays, that energy spreads, that structure is temporary. This isn't just a cosmic principle, it's a practical one. It means environments degrade if not maintained. Knowledge fades if not shared. Stability requires effort. Entropy doesn't make life meaningless. It makes life urgent. Fear comes from not knowing. Education turns fear into proportion. Understanding that the universe may end doesn't make today pointless. It makes today measurable. It gives context to why preservation matters, why cooperation matters, why curiosity matters. Education doesn't comfort us with permanence. It empowers us with clarity. Scientifically, it's important to end with honesty. We do not know why the universe exists. Whether the laws of physics will remain constant, whether awareness is rare or inevitable, how the universe will truly end. But we do know that complexity arises briefly, that awareness is fragile, that knowledge accumulates locally, that meaning is created, not inherited. This is not failure. This is the frontier. The most important thing these stories teach us is not dread. It's responsibility. Because if the universe does not preserve meaning, time does not protect memory, space does not guarantee connection, then we do, through learning, through recording, through teaching, through curiosity. Education becomes the way the universe briefly understands itself. Closing reflection. For a short time on a small planet around an ordinary star, matter learned how to ask questions. That is not destiny. That is not fate. That is probability expressed once. And while it lasts, it matters. The universe may not remember us, but for now we remember the universe.